All right, welcome back, everyone, to Sao Paulo. And we've got Eala again taking on Riera this time. And, they've actually played a couple of times. They played twice last year, once on hard courts, once on clay. Riera won the clay court match. Swiatek. That's next week. We're watching it next week. Eala won the hard court match pretty easily. So this should be advantage Eala. It should be. But we'll see. We'll see what happens. Eala did look a little bit sore at the end of her match yesterday, even though she won really easily. Towards the end, the last couple of games, she was like pointing at her shoulder, and she was just a little bit didn't look super comfortable. So we'll see if that was just maybe very end and it's not going to come back, or what's going to go on with her, because she has played a lot of tennis. You never rest. That's not true. I'm not going to be streaming tomorrow. I'll be not streaming tomorrow. We're not doing anything tomorrow. All right. And the winner of this, by the way, will take on Janice Chen, who won earlier today, 6-1, 6-love. I think she played Raducanu last at the US Open, right? And was she's like a very unique player. She's got a very unique game. So that'd be fun if we got Eala versus Chen in the quarterfinals. Because that would mean that we would get could get some really high quality tennis. And then semifinals, Eala might have to play Francesca Jones or Solana Sierra. So the number 6 or number 2 seed. So she's going to have to play a seed in that semifinal if she does keep going. So, yeah. So we'll see how things keep going. Pia.
Yo, Alex. Thanks, Cams, for covering Alex again.
No worries. Thank you for the donation. Appreciate it. Thank you for hanging out. It's the first year since 2002 that the Big Three haven't made a slam final. Yeah, I've heard that. That's crazy. That is crazy. By the way, chat, yesterday, after stream, I had like a toothache, and I've had it the last couple of days. And I went, I'm just going to go to the dentist. I'm not going to, I was like, I'll go tomorrow. I'll go now. So I went, and luckily it was nothing. I didn't have to get any filling or anything. But has anybody ever had their teeth scaled? So that happened. That was fun. He's like, do you want me to clean your teeth up? I'm like, sure. And then he's just like, and I'm like, what are you doing? I thought you were just going to brush my teeth. What the hell? But now my teeth feel really fresh and healthy. So, and I didn't have to get a filling. So it means that I'm doing a good job, I guess. Yeah. Like, it feels weird because like the back of my teeth are all like weird. But yeah, so that was my fun trip to the dentist. Yay. My prediction for this, I said Eala's going to win straights. Yeah, and I was going in there going, I'm going to have to get my face numbed. I'm going to have to get my teeth drilled. It's going to be a whole thing. And he's like, no, the x-ray showed that your teeth are fine. It's just that you might need to, we just need to get rid of all the gunk, all the shit behind your teeth. I'm like, okay. So that was positive news. That was a good trip to the dentist. Even though the scaling was like, you could miss me with that, but noise of the scraper. No, I don't think it was just more like the I just hadn't had it done before, so I hadn't had it done for a while, so I was just kind of like, oh yeah, this is fun. Who's my favorite on the WTA? Daria Kasatkina. And she's not playing this week. Can Eala win a slam? I don't think we should be putting her on that kind of expectation. Because then we just won't enjoy anything that she does before that. If she doesn't win a slam, then people are going to think that she's not good. So and that's not true. So, yeah. Oh, speaking of slams, chat. Check this. It arrived yesterday, and it is the pink shirt. Ta-da! We have the Alcaraz pink shirt. It is here. Yay! And it's going to go on the wall. I'm going to redo the wall because it's going to... you can't even see the other ones. I want everybody... You want to be... I might have to go them like side by side. Like have them like that. A little bit closer together because he's winning too many. He's just winning too many. There it is. The pink US Open shirt. All 6 of them. Did he wear it? No, I bought it from the store. Of course he didn't wear it. But yeah, I got to figure out like the whole situation. Where'd you find it? I found it on. It was on an Australian sports like gear website, so that's good. The Wimbledon and the French Open ones weren't here. I don't know why, but we got this one. So Australia has this one. So yeah, so that was super cool. So now, all I need to do is just reorganize the wall. Luckily I got it because all the larges are out of stock. Oh, me. No, I'm not going to dye my hair. No. I'm just going to collect the shirts. I'm not going to dye my hair. That's not going to happen. No hair dyeing here. All right, here we go. Let's see how Eala goes against a lot more defensive type of player. We talked about it a few times over the last couple of weeks watching Eala, that sometimes when she does play a great defender, it does, force her to overhit and go hit a little bit too big. So let's see if that is the case, or if Eala continues her streak of games. We will talk about Riera as well, because we're using these opportunity now when we watch Eala to also learn about players that we never have seen before. We've never watched Riera before, so we are going to also learn about that. 15-love as Eala wins the first point. So, yeah. So we'll talk also about Riera and talk about what her game is all about, what her career has been like so far. All those things. 15-love. As a return goes out by Riera. And it's 30-love. So Riera is currently 188 in the world. Her top ranking was actually 93 in the world 12 months ago. She was 93 in top 100 over a year ago. Dropped down the rankings since. Definitely a clay quarter. I'm looking here in her record. In fact, between the Australian, or between start of February and the US Open, she only played clay. She only played clay and then Wimbledon qualifying. That's all she did. So she played Australian Open, where she made it to the first round of qualies, lost to Haddad Maia in 3. And then she lost. She played in Cancun, and then she went straight to the dirt and went clay, all the way up until Wimbledon. And then she did qualify for the French Open, lost to Raducanu in 3. So she has had a couple of good, close, Haddad Maia, Raducanu, getting sets off them this year. So that's been pretty good. And then she went back to the clay after Wimbledon, and then she went to the US Open, lost first round of qualies, and now she's here. So, yeah, definitely a clay player. Hasn't got a top 100 win this year. Her best win is against Gibson, who was in the French Open qualies, 126 in the world. She has played, like I said, Raducanu, Haddad Maia, Osorio, Jovic, and Gracheva. And obviously now playing Eala. As Eala wins the first game, 1-love. 23 years old from Argentina. Her best result was beating Alexandrova in Brisbane last year. So she has got a good hardcore win. Alexandrova, who was 21 in the world at the time. So that's a good win. Also beat Sharif in Rabat a couple of years ago on clay. Putting Saver on clay in that same tournament in Rabat. So she has got a couple of top 100 wins. This will be her third best result by ranking. So unlike the players we've watched with, in the past, I was saying this is, if the players that have played the Eala in the last few matches had won, they would have had like career high ranking or career best result or all those things. This wouldn't be Riera's best result, which means there's a lot less pressure, right? She's not coming in going, oh my God, this is a career defining matchup. No, she's had better wins. She's had better results than a second round. Like there's not as much pressure on her as there might have been on the opponents that Eala's played in the past. So therefore she can, play a little freely. They've played twice before, so there's not that element of like, who is she? What is she about? They both played each other. They know how each other's playing. So again, a lot less pressure on Riera today than maybe like the opponents like we talked about Sora yesterday, who was if she had won, it would have been her best result ever and all that kind of stuff. Last week, a couple of players that were, do it like it was a career-defining match if they had won. This isn't so much for that. So we'll see if that makes any difference to Riera. Great return to the slice of Riera. As Eala goes to the front of Riera, Eala backhand, again the front of Riera. Again the backhand of Eala. As Riera backhand passing shot, Eala with the volley, and then Riera in the net with a forehand. Damn, that was definitely an opportunity missed. Love 30. Riera had the open court. So again, Riera definitely more of the clay court type. Hasn't got a WTA trophy yet, but has got a couple of ITF events. As we do a slice from Eala, backing out from Riera as a lob. Eala with a volley goes long, and it's 15-30. Did make the Challenger finals in doubles on a couple of occasions this year, the last couple of years on the clay. But did win her last title was actually back in last year in May, where she won a W100 tournament in Germany. So she has got this isn't not as big as this title, not a 250, but it's a pretty decent title. First time this year she's played Grand Slams, like I said, French Open and Wimbledon. Lost to Raducanu at the French, which was a huge result for her. That was her Grand Slam debut, first ever main draw match, and she got a set of Raducanu. I know it's on clay, but still. So she's having. I wouldn't say she's not career high yet, but she's definitely probably playing the most consistent she's played all in her career. She hadn't played a Grand Slam qualify until last year's Wimbledon, so she kind of. I don't know if she went to college maybe or maybe because she's 23, so you think that the last she would have where was she at 18, 19, 20? What was she doing? Sometimes the players that start to in 23 is usually because they went to college, but I can't see anything. So in 2022 she represented Argentina in the Billie Jean King Cup, as Eala losing the point advantage Riera. Made her debut in the 2023 season on the WTA. Has got a really good Billie Jean King Cup record, 18 wins, 6 losses. So that's pretty impressive. And then in the Pan American Games, got the silver, the bronze medal in the singles in 2023. So again, pretty decent. As Eala gets back to deuce. Pan American Games, by the way, is, I guess, like the Olympics. I guess, but it's like every other year, almost, I guess. A lot of the... I think it's like North and South America, right? They play. I think it's a tournament only for those places. As Riera gets to advantage, because I'm looking here and it doesn't look like any country outside of America, Canada, and Mexico and the South American countries are playing. Does Australia have that? Do we have like the Oceania Games or something? We must have something, right? The Pacific Games. Where's this? I've never heard of this. The Pacific Games. Do we even do them? Oh yeah, Australia's in those. Okay. Yeah, tennis is in there. I wonder who plays the tennis. No Australians play the tennis. That's wild. I would have thought if you're going to play the like an Olympic style medal event, why wouldn't Australia be allowed to play? We're not allowed to play. 13 countries have confirmed their participation in the Pacific Games. Yeah, why don't we have Australians playing the Pacific Games? That's crazy. We just get gold medals. Why wouldn't? That's crazy. When was the last Australian to play the Pacific Games? Never heard. This is all new to me. I've never heard of this. I know about the Asia Games, and I've heard about the Pan American Games. I didn't realize there was an Australian like equivalent like we could play. Oh, it was in Australia. Oh no, it wasn't. It was in Papua New Guinea, close to Australia. Tennis has only just come back into it, I think. Because I'm having a look here and it says here that... Oh no, tennis was in it then as well. I have no idea. I guess Australia just doesn't do it. Because we have the Commonwealth Games, maybe? That's why, I guess. I'd love Demon Order to bloody play this thing. Anyways. It's all new to me. Alright. We're back to Deuce. Did I see what happened with Lleyton? Yeah. Sorry, it's advantage. Eala to get the break, and yep, she does. Riera hits it in the net, and Eala gets the break. 2-0. 2-0. All right. 2-0. All right. As Eala serves. And the backhand return goes in the net by Riera. And it's 15-love. As we're just serving to the backhand of Riera, but Riera hits it wide. 30-love. Love. As Eala serves again. As return goes in the forehand of Eala, but Eala hits a wide 30-15. 30-15. So what happened with Lleyton is that he was fined and suspended for allegedly pushing a 60-year-old anti-doping volunteer. I'm not sure why or how, what came of it or why or what the extent of it is. We don't see any of it, so I don't know. But I don't know if he's not allowed to go to I don't think he's allowed to go to the Davis Cup, right? He's not allowed to be the captain, I don't think. The ITA can confirm that the Australian Davis Cup captain Lleyton Hewitt has been suspended for 2 weeks following an independent tribunal under the Tennis Anti-Doping Program. He also was fined $30,000. Following the investigation, he was charged. So the 6th of January with a breach. So it was in January during the Australian summer. Engaging in offensive conduct towards a doping control official, sorry. There's no details. So that's, There's Riera in the net, 3-love. Hewitt denied the charge, which was brought to the ITIA with a review of video evidence, witness statements, and interviews, citing self-defense. The case was referred to an independent tribunal, and they made their decision. Accommodating Hewitt's request, travel schedule, desire to cross-examine witnesses. And the tribunal said that Hewitt's action did not meet the requirements of self-defense, and that his behavior was not reasonable or proportionate. Yeah, it's so tough because if you don't know you don't see what it was, then how are we supposed to even we're just, And look, I'm totally biased because Lleyton's my favorite, but it's also it does sound pretty. It sounds really bad, right? But then you go, well, was it because did he bump him? Did he not did he push him like this, or did he just kind of go get out of the way, or what was it? Right? We don't know any of it. So, but you're not allowed to touch officials, and that's just normal, right? That's in pretty much every situation in every sport, right? Umpires, referees, officials, you're not allowed to go near them. Don't even you hit a ball, if a ball hits somebody who's a ball kid or an official, right? I mean, it's all, you can't do that. Even if, whatever the extent, it's just, you can't, they're untouchable. You're not allowed to go near them. So, I don't know if he's allowed. So is it from today onwards, 2 weeks from today? So that means he's not allowed to be at the Davis Cup, I guess. Move the suspension to September 24. Well, that would mean that he could be at the Davis Cup. As the ITIA chief said, anti-doping personnel play a fundamental role behind the scenes, and they should be able to go to do about their roles without fear of physical contact. Again, physical contact, right? It's like, did he push him? Did he nudge him? Did he bump him? What? Did he buy? Who knows? I don't think I don't think they're going to put out any video because then everyone's going to have a comment about it, and nobody wants that. But yeah, it's a shame though. It's not cool. It's not great. He pushed a senior citizen. Well, yeah, he pushed a 60-year-old. So yeah, even it doesn't matter how old that person, even if they were 30, right? Again, you just can't. Any officials are protected. No matter what the extent of the contact. But I also think it's also should be kept in mind that there's no detail about there's not much detail about it sounds way worse than it probably is, or it could be as bad as it sounds, right? When I first read it, I'm like, oh my God, he was in a fight with a, I thought it sounded like he was in a fight, right? But then I read the article and was like, oh, okay, a little bit different. Anyways, forehand winner from Eala, and it's 40-30. But yeah. What do you think? What do you think about people who push 60-year-olds? What? like I said, pushing anybody is not okay. But again, like I said, from what I've, this it seems again very vague. About what what was the context? It definitely lacks context. Was the official going to talk to, because remember his son is playing, right? Was the official who knows? We don't know the context. I'm not going to make it up. But again, you can't go near officials. You can't get physical with any of those, any officials. So he 2 weeks and $30,000, right? It's like, okay, well, yeah, exactly. It doesn't sound like he got into a fist fight with an official, which would probably warrant a long ban. But again, did he, push someone out the way? Did he bump someone? Did he go, as he was trying to get to somewhere? We don't know. But again, it doesn't matter if they're 60, 30, male, female. If they're an official, you can't go near them. You can't touch them. You got to let them do their job and leave them alone. You can't. As it goes wide and it's for love. In some sports, I don't know if the NBA is like this, but if you go up to the referee and touch them on the shoulder and be like, excuse me, you're making a bad call, even if you don't touch them and you just say something to them, you swear at them, you get ejected. So, right? In Australian sports, we have the same problem. We have the same things, right? Where, if you say something to the umpire, if you disagree with the umpire, you get penalized. And you go, So you can. That's where I'm kind of, and in baseball as well. And again, that might be. The umpires didn't come there to, didn't try to come to their workplace to get yelled at, even if they make a mistake, right? So again, is it? Yeah, without any detail and any context of why Lleyton would. I don't think Lleyton would just be like, "Hey, there's someone in my way. Get out of my way." I don't think Lleyton's going to do that. If there was some more context around it, then we could, and maybe there will be. Maybe, down the track, Lleyton will say something, or there'll be some context around it. We can actually go, okay, put ourselves in the situation and see what's, whereas at the moment, it's like, he pushed someone, he's banned for 2 weeks, and the person was 60. You're like, okay, that's it's a very vague situation. There's not much detail there, right? So we'll wait and see. But again, you can't touch officials. You got to leave them alone. All right, 30 love. This happened in January, but it was all it just came out today. Again, it's not it's more of I think a cautionary tale for those who you can't get aggressive or can't be, you can't touch the officials. You got to let them do their job and don't get near them. 40 love, by the way, Eala is cruising. Riera, again, this is kind of like yesterday where Eala had, it was a tough start, but then she just started getting on a roll. 40 love. And then she double faults, 40-15. And if Lleyton does go to the Davis Cup this week, you know that he'll be asked about it. He'll be asked a lot about it. 40-15. As Eala serves again to go to 5 love. First serve is a fault. Second serve. Second serve. And she double faults twice in a row. All right, 40-30. MLB players get thrown out of games. What, for talking back to officials? Yeah. Yeah, and look, and again, again, shouting at, we've seen in tennis, right? Shouting at an official will get you defaulted. You know, we saw with Rublev last year, right? So, yeah, you can't do it. It's a very strict, you know, the officials are a protected species, and you gotta let them work and not get in the way and not get involved. There's a 4-4 rally into the backhand of Eala, down the line of the slice of Riera, 4-0 from Eala. Again, the backhand of Riera. There's Eala forehand again. Ooh, just goes wide as she went down the line. We get the deuce. But again, I'm biased, Chad. Lleyton's my guy, right? This channel wouldn't exist if it wasn't for Lleyton Hewitt. So I'm always going to be more forgiving. But again, I haven't heard enough. So he hasn't said anything. We haven't seen any footage. We haven't seen any, like, we've just got like what the ITIA have determined. And you go, well, what do you do with that? You know? All right. Deuce. As Eala double faults for a third time in the game, and it's advantage Riera to get one back. All right, advantage Riera. All right, advantage Riera. Serving the back end of Riera. Return goes in the front of Eala. Riera slice. Into the front of Eala. Again, the back end of Riera. Eala down the line. Forehand. Great shot. Riera gets it back. Eala forehand again to the front of Riera. Eala in control. She hits it back in again. The front of Riera. Oh, and Riera hit it in. Eala thought it was long. She started to celebrate, and now Eala can't believe it's out. I thought it was in, sorry. She thought for sure it's out. Eala was standing right on that line, so she would have seen the best. I mean, that looked wide. That looked wide. That looked so wide. That looked so out. Like, that's a terrible angle. We can't see from there. That looks so wide. Oh, that's a tough angle. That's a bad angle. Ooh, is it in the corner? I don't know. Must have hit the corner. That was so close. Eala started celebrating. It looked like it was sort of wide. Eala's just saying to the umpire, hey, what the hell? See, that's the downside of playing 250s. They're not going to have Hawkeye. So, you know, luckily she's up a double break, or she was. So, but that's man, yeah, that was a rough. That looked very close. So totally understandable that Eala would be asking, what the hell? That was a very close call. Why did the ITIA wait to make this public? A bit like the Sinner case, ITIA not transparent. The reason why the ITIA don't say things the second it happens is because they don't want a media storm for no reason, right? They don't, like, if they, like, and I get it, you know, people were so, like, angry at the transparency, non-transparency from the Sinner stuff, right? But there's also a process, right? So if the ITIA finds something, they tell the person what they've come to, and then that person has a chance to go, I'm going to appeal that, and then the process can be dealt with. But if the ITIA go, hey, we found something, I'm going to tell the media, and then it turns out that it wasn't actually a big deal, or it wasn't, you know, they don't want smoke like that. They want to, that would be unprofessional for them to just go, hey, we're going to send Sinner an email, but we're also going to send the media an email about Sinner's, you know, being, you know, tested positive and shit. They can't do that because that's not fair on the person who to defend themselves or at least try and explain themselves. And I know people want full transparency and stuff, but it's like there's a process, and the person being accused of something, they deserve a right of reply. And there's a process for them to go through that process and do the things that they need to do. that's how it works, you know. And if you don't like it, and the ITA, you think the ITA should be transparent, it's like, well, it's probably not in their best interest to give out all the information before they have all the information. Because what if they get something wrong? What if they made a mistake? Then they look silly, and then everyone's like questioning them now. They don't want to get questioned. If you start questioning the people making the rules and doing the thing, then no one will believe anything, right? And then sports in shambles, right? So they can't be full transparency. They have to go through these processes so that they can tick all their boxes and then give the right information out once they come to a conclusion. You rather than come out and say, hey, by the way, we found out this thing, and then we all come out up with our own conclusions, and then they go, actually, we've done some more research and we actually missed a couple of things. That would be horrible for them. That would be so unprofessional, right? So, I mean, do you want them to get the right answer, even though it takes a little time behind doors, or do you want them to just tell you exactly what's going on at the second, and then we all make our own minds up, and then they turn around and say, actually, no, we made a mistake, and then we all question whether or not they're good enough, right? I mean, I'd rather them get it right, even if it takes them a little bit of time behind closed doors. As long as we get the right conclusion, then I think that's good. That's what they're there for. Lovely pickup by Riera, by the way. Welcome to the Eala channel. Welcome, Lizzie. Yes. This week is the Eala week. 40-30. As a default second serve. We are officially in Alex Eala week because there's no one else playing. On the men's side, there's no one playing. And on the women's side, there's a couple of players playing. We might watch them later in the week, but it's a pretty light week as we get a double fault from Riera and it's back to deuce. All right, deuce. As the return goes in from Eala, great return, advantage. Also, Chad, I'm going to keep saying this because it keeps happening. This is not, I know I joke about this being like a classroom in school, but this is not a compulsory, mandatory, like you don't have to be here for these matches. If you don't like Eala, you don't have to be like, oh, Cam's live, I better be there, otherwise he's going to scold me. I'm not going to do that. This is an option. This is optional. You don't have to be here. But I'm here for the people that wanted to be here because there's a lot of people that do want to watch her. As we had a forehand down the line to the forehand of Riera, lob goes up. Eala lets it bounce and hits a smash. And Riera can't get it. 5-1 Eala. So it's not compulsory. So if you come in and being like, oh, we have to watch Eala again. Why do we have to watch Eala? You don't have to watch her. It's okay. It was either watch Eala or do nothing. So I mean. But we also could talk about other things. Like, maybe, just because we're live for Eala doesn't mean we don't talk about other things, like Alcaraz's hair. Right? I mean, so yeah, like, I don't think it's a big deal. People are making a big deal. If we're watching this match instead of watching Swiatek or Alcaraz, which would never happen because we do a doubleheader, but if we did that, then I could understand people getting angry. If we were like ignoring other players for Eala, I totally understand you'd be pissed, but I don't understand why. Just come back next week when we watch Swiatek or whoever else is playing next week. Anisimova next week. I knew Ken was going to say that, yeah. Again, it just boggles my mind when people get annoyed by who I decide to watch. Like, why? Don't worry about it. We watch so many matches that eventually we're going to watch your favorite, and it'll be fine. This week we're watching the favorite Philippines player, the Philippines' favorite player. Next week we'll watch Swiatek, Poland's favorite player, right? I mean, and then we'll watch Labour Cup. So yeah, we got was all right. We've got plenty of tennis left. All right, nice inning from Eala. 30 love. 2 points away from the first set. 30 love. Oh, and this is over with Drew? That's not my fault. So we're not going to watch her. But we would have if she was there. 40 love Eala. Take the first set. Next time there's a big match, you should do Eala watch party instead. Yeah, no, I'm not going to be that. That's cruel. That's so mean. I would never do that. Funny though. That's a funny joke though. All right, 40 love. Maybe I'll use that joke in the future. As we're back in now from Eala into the slice of Riera. Forehand from Eala into the forehand of Riera. Again to the forehand of Eala as Riera back in on the stretch. Goes in. Eala forehand again to the back of Riera. Riera in the net. 6-1 for Eala. Wasn't the easiest 6-1. 33 minutes. There's a few games there that could have gone either way, but Riera just couldn't hold serve to make it close. But good win, good first set. All right. All right. The match seem easy for Eala. Well, yeah, that's because she's playing players that are not good on Eala's best surface, I think we can all agree, is hard courts. But she's playing against players that are either low ranked, that haven't got experience yet, or are clay courters in this respect. So and the next match will be interesting because if she does continue to win, the next match will be against Janice Chen, and we did watch her last week at the US Open, and she has got that Ons Jabeur kind of creativity, which I really, really enjoy. She's 130 in the world, but she has, recently been in really good form on hard courts. She's actually in fact, she's played one clay court event this year, Chen. That's it. And she won that tournament. So she played one clay court event, she won it, and then she's only played hard courts. So in the next round, Eala's going to play a proper hard court player who's playing well. Made the final of Lansville. Made the second round of the US Open by winning the qualies, right? Coming through the qualies. Beat Kudermetova, huge win. Has won 2 matches here already, in good form as well. Hasn't dropped a set. Made a final in Lexington. She won in Taipei. She won also. She's won this year. 56 wins, 8 losses is Chen. So that is someone who's in very good form, including a bunch of top 100 wins. One of those being Kudermetova. So yeah, Chen is having a great season. Started the year off at 393 and is currently 130. So yeah, Eala is going to be a big step up for Eala in the next match, and that's going to be on Friday. So we'll be watching that. Janice Chen is currently 123 in the world, which is a career high ranking for her. If she does keep winning, though, she could be top 100 by the end of the week. So yeah, so that's going to be tough. That's going to be a tricky one. Eala's not going to be able to play. It's not going to be if she wins this match. We're going to keep saying that if she wins. Chen is not going to be easy. We saw her play Raducanu, and we could see there was Raducanu overpowered her, but we could see that it was definitely an opportunity, or how she could trouble players. She definitely showed some skill. As Eala hits a lovely drop shot, but Riera gets it and puts it in the net. Riera's got a hold serve, 15-all. Fran Jones is also playing well. Yeah, we'll see her possibly play Eala in the semis if they both make it. All right. As Riera serves an ace. 30-15. What's the South Park line when they go hunting? Yeah, someone. Can you stop trying to I don't know what you're trying to do. Like, you're trying to like we just talked about Lleyton for like 20 minutes. So I don't know what you're at. We're trying to 40-15. As Riera tries to win the first game of the second. 40-15. As a return goes into the backhand slice of Riera. In comes Eala with a volley. Too good. 40-30. I wonder why Eala didn't just play Mexico and play a 500 event, make more money, and play at the same site. That's a good question. I can give you some theories. I mean, that might, that might be true. I don't know. I mean, maybe you got to ask her, and she's the only one who knows why she played down here. 40-30. As we return now into the forehand of Riera. No, Eala hits a return winner, deuce. So one of them would be, she probably already had this tournament scheduled, right? She already locked into this tournament. So she wasn't supposed to play Guadalajara. That was not on her schedule. She came in last minute to that tournament. So she was supposed to go US Open and then have a week off and then come and play in Brazil. So I think she was always going to play in Sao Paulo. That was always going to be on the list. It was Guadalajara 125 that she added last minute, right? So she came in last minute. So that makes the most sense too. But also, why would she play this and not a 500? Well, she's the third seed here, right? She's number 3 seed. In a 500 event, she might have been unseeded and she might have had to play a number 1 seed in the first round. And if she plays that player and loses, then what's the point? Whereas I think Eala, and we've seen that throughout the season since Miami, she's playing the smaller events to get more matches, to play more tennis. Rather than going and playing high-level events and losing first round, which, yeah, get more prize money, maybe. It doesn't really help your ranking if you're losing first round the whole time. And it definitely doesn't help your confidence. So coming down to Sao Paulo instead of staying in Guadalajara, where she would have potentially played, tougher opposition, and maybe she would have beaten them, but the risks of her losing in the first round are higher in a smaller tournament than here, where she can play a couple of players where she knows she can win, make the quarters, or the semis, or the final, and get a better chance of at least gaining the confidence, So, yeah. And again, I think it's more to do with the first thing I said, where she committed to this tournament, and then she came into Guadalajara last minute and got a wild card to that tournament, and she wasn't even supposed to be there. As that goes wide by Riera. Eala, 1-love. Riera's had chances to hold serve as well. She just hasn't been able to do it. So, yeah. Because she got a wild card, so it wasn't on her list to go to Guadalajara. But I guess between, New York and going to Sao Paulo, she's like, oh, well, we can go to Mexico in the middle. Like, why not just go there? She won the title, so worth it, right? But she was never going to play in Guadalajara 500. She was always going to play here. So, yeah. And after losing in that US Open, had she have made the 4th round, she wouldn't have gone to Guadalajara, right? She wouldn't have gone there had she have done better in New York, right? Had she have made the 4th round and played Sabalenka or whatever. She wouldn't have come down to, she would have just gone to Sao Paulo after a week off. But because she lost 2nd round, she had an extra week off. She's like, well, I got to do something. So, yeah. Again, I guess that's a logical explanation, but I don't know if it's right. I don't know if it's true. Maybe she was always going to play these tournaments, and maybe she has other reasons, but that seems to be why. As Eala hits in the net, love 15. That could be one reason why. I don't know. Maybe there's other reasons too. She was, yeah, exactly. She was supposed to. Sao Paulo was always on her schedule, and then Guadalajara to 125 got added late. Like, it was a last minute, wild card. So it all makes sense. Love 15 here as Riera goes to the front of Eala. Riera backhand into the front of Eala. And Eala in the net, 15-all. Oh, sorry, love 30. My bad. I can't read. Love 30. Love 30. She's more interested in winning points, maybe. Oh, yeah. Again, you could probably... I mean, look, if you can make a second round or third round of a 500, it's probably equal to making it to the semis here. Roughly. Maybe not. Maybe that's a little too simplified. But, yeah. I think it's more about just getting wins for Eala. It's about winning matches. I don't think it's too much about... Her ranking is in a good position for at least the next, 6 months where she doesn't have to play... as long as, she stays in the top 100, then she's fine. She doesn't need to worry about her ranking that much. If she's 60 or 50, it doesn't matter. You're still going to be unseeded, right? The only time it matters is like top 100, so you can get, seeded at entry lists into events, like free entry. Top 50 will get you to the most of the 500s without having to play qualies. So maybe that's her next step to try and get there so she doesn't have to play qualies in the big tournaments. But also, top 30 is when it becomes, you get seeded at a Grand Slam, and that's really important. But I don't think her ranking matters that much right now. I don't think she needs to be playing bigger tournaments to get more higher ranking for any reason right now. Because at the end of the day, at the start of the year, she was outside the top 100. She's in the top 100 for the first time in her career, right? Playing right now. This is the first time she's been in the top 100. And also, remember, at the start of the season and in the off season, all the players would have had, they all probably go through this, I'm sure, unless they just don't, they just go and party. That goes out by Eala and it's 1-1. They would have sat down with the coaches and said, okay, what are we going to do this year? Where are we going to go? What are our goals? What's our schedule going to look like? Right? And Eala's goals were probably like top 100, and then we'll work the schedule. We want to try and play the Grand Slams. We want to try and play 1000s. So she was playing the qualies of those, or she got a wild card in Miami, obviously, with that. But they would have set out a plan. And then halfway through the season, because she's now at top 100, what are they going to throw that out and go, oh yeah, we're not going to go to Sao Paulo anymore. We're going to go to Guadalajara instead. So no, they have a set schedule where she's, by the end of the year, I would be shocked if next year she's doing these, playing the smaller tournaments as much. I would be shocked if next year she does the same thing. But I think this year, this was probably something she planned in January, right? They probably went, okay, we'll go from New York and we'll go down to Sao Paulo and then we'll go over to, wherever and we'll play this schedule. And she's sticking to that, and the coaches are sticking to it. I don't think they're going to... And they add tournaments. They've obviously added some tournaments last minute, but I don't think... Because her rankings got higher, I don't think they're just going to throw out the schedule and be like, yeah, we'll do another schedule. We'll play 500s only. It's like, nah. It doesn't seem like they're going to do that. They could have done that. 15-0. But next year, I don't think Eala is going to be playing too many small events. I think she will be more 500 focused. As Eala gets to 15-30. Uh, 15-30 as Riera serves a fault. Second serve. Second serve. Into the forehand of Eala. Eala in the net. 30-all. My tennis serve is better than Eala. Okay, well, cool. Congratulations. 30-all. As Riera serves again. There's a fault, second serve. Sorry, we can't show the match. I wish I could. It would be so much easier, but we can't show the match, unfortunately. But if you want to just hang out, that's what we're here for. We're here to just shoot the shit and talk about the sport that we all love. 40-30. As Riera, hit the forehand wide. God, again, Riera's been in the lead on the serve and had so many opportunities to hold a serve, but that was just a big shank. All right, back to deuce. And then an ace down the tee. All right. Advantage Riera. Advantage Riera. And she serves into the front of it. Eala. Riera with a drop shot. Eala gets it, but hits into the net. That's a great drop shot from Riera. 2-1. Riera leads. And holds serve, I think, for the first time today. Okay. All right. How are we doing, chat? What's going on? What is up? People have demonstrated they don't act in good faith with half bits of information. Okay. What are you talking about? We always get new people asking Cam to show the match. Cam, have you updated the FAQ command? No. And I won't until the end of the year. I just don't know. I don't know how I want it doesn't work. Basically, the way that I want it to. So, I can't, like, it just like is a jumbled mess. Like, I don't know how to make Nightbot say it properly. So, but I'll try. I mean, yeah, it would help a lot. But also, I don't know how many people are going to read like an essay of FAQ. I don't know. I think people are still going to ask me, where's the match? I don't think that's going to change, even if it has an FAQ, you know? No, there's no... I can't find any workarounds. Nightbot just kind of like jumble... Like, I've sorted it out, and it still just comes up as like a big mess of like, here's a bunch of questions. And then it like cuts it off at like 200 characters, right? Look at that. It's just a mess, right? You know? Like, it just doesn't make sense. And who's going to read that? It's probably easy to just say, no, I can't show the match. Definitely easier just to answer those questions. Anyways, backhand goes down the line to slice of Riera. 4 now from Eala. Riera hits it in the crowd. All right. Yeah, I don't want to make separate commands for every single question that gets asked. I don't want to do that. It just gets a little messy. I mean, I could do that, but I just don't have time to. I don't know how I want to do it. Ideally, Nightbot would automatically answer that question without anyone having to prompt it, but I don't think it's that smart yet. Have I managed to have a Danish pastry? I did on Monday. Anyways, backhand return goes in the net by Riera, 30 love. Today I might even go to get a Danish after this match, if if there's any left. If there is any left. Do you think Eala should try changing her team? No, I think she's fine. She's having a career best season. She's just won a title. I don't think she needs to change anything. I think she's fine. 40 love. Yeah, I appreciate that, DJ. I wish it was that easy. It's just that it takes a lot of work behind the scenes to try and get Nightbot to play ball. So, and it's probably, I mean, if I don't answer the question or the mods, don't answer the question, somebody else will. So it's usually somebody's like, hey, show the match. Somebody's going to say, we can't, All right. Two all in the second. Riera serving. As Eala hits a return winner. Beautiful shot. Love 15. All right, 30. Love 15, sorry. Serve again. Here's a fault, second serve. Serving the forehand of Eala. Backhand from Riera to the backhand of Eala is Riera forehand. Into the forehand of Eala is Riera forehand again. To the backhand of Eala. Riera goes down the line. Eala's doing a lot of running and hits a slice back in. Riera comes in the net with a slice, but it's in the net. And Eala, good defense. Love 30. Love 30. To get the break in the second. First serve's a fault, second serve. As Eala hits a return winner, love 40. Love 40. Love 40. We got a fault from Riera, second serve. Eala's team is from the Rafa Academy, and I think she's in good hands. I agree she needs a better serve. Backhand from Riera. As Eala forehand goes to forehand of Riera. Riera puts it away, and it's 15-40. But I asked this, though. Do you think that... I mean, right now, does she really need, like, a serving coach? Right now? Because she's winning. I think in 12 months' time, if she's still not serving... Like, 12 months from now, if she's still... Her serve is... If her serve starts costing her matches, that's when she needs to address it. But if she's winning, I don't think it's that big of a deal right now. I don't think it matters that much right now. I don't think it's it shouldn't be... She doesn't need to worry about it now. As that backhand goes in the front of Riera. Riera hits a wide. Eala breaks 3-2. You know what I mean? Like, yeah, okay, she's not perfect. You know, there's not many players that are. And yeah, she has room for improvement, but isn't, you know, winning matches and, you know, again, can she beat Sabalenka, Swiatek, Gauff, you know, consistently with her game? Probably not. And the serve is one of those reasons. But if she's winning matches and she's getting titles and her ranking is slowly rising, why do we need to change it? I don't think she needs to do any drastic changes right now. You know, it's only when she starts hitting the ceiling where you go, oh, she could have won that match had she have served better. Or, oh man, you know, her ranking has been the same for like, you know, 3 months. She hasn't really progressed. You know, her ranking is kind of like plateaued, right? Okay, why is that? And then you can dig into it. But I don't think there's any reason she needs to change anything. Is she going to be able to, you know, serve this well and, you know, serve like this against the better players and beat them consistently? Who knows? We haven't seen it enough. But I don't think there's a reason for her to like make any drastic changes yet. Because she is still like slowly rising up the rank. It's different from Gauff, right? Coco Gauff is a Grand Slam champion. The expectations on her to be, you know, beat Swiatek, beat Sabalenka consistently, trying to be number one, and the serve is stopping her from that. That's obviously a big deal, right? But I don't think Eala is in the point now where we're like, man, her serve is really letting her down. It's like, yeah, it's not great and there's room for improvement, but it's not costing her matches yet. So I don't think it needs to be addressed yet. The problem is, there's a problem there, you know, and maybe it sorts itself out. Maybe, you know, with her confidence and with her wins, her serve then becomes better and she gets more confident with it. You know, and maybe it goes away on its own. She doesn't need an expert or doesn't need to address it. Maybe it just, you know, it corrects itself. But I don't think Eala needs to do anything drastic, especially changing her team. If you're winning, why would you change your team? Like, unless there was something like with Gauff, right? She won the French Open and then a couple of weeks later she got a new coach, right? That was a different situation. But if you got a winning combination, why would you change? It's only when you start losing or you start feeling like you're not going to another level that you should consider getting rid of people in your team. I don't think she should get rid of anyone right now. 15 love. Because what if you mess with it and then you bring in someone and they don't work, and then you've got to, as Eala hits a lovely volley winner, 30 love. What if you bring someone in and then you go backwards, right? What a terrible idea. So I think she's fine. I don't think she needs to make any crazy changes until she starts, she stops progressing, right? She stops going up in the rankings. She stops winning matches consistently. She's not beating the players she needs to beat to win trophies. Then we need to talk about why. Right now, it's fine. She's winning. She's doing well. She's not perfect, but she's getting confident. So I don't think there's any problem with her game right now. As it a forehand out of the backhand of Riera, forehand out from Eala into the back of Riera as Eala forehand into the forehand of Riera. Again, the forehand of Eala as Riera forehand goes long, and it's 40 love. If you are looking for long-term success, you need to fix everything. It doesn't matter. It doesn't mean you are winning everything you shouldn't retain. Maybe you're winning because you're facing bad opponents. I get that, but also you run the risk of like, okay, well, we need to fix the serve. Like, okay, cool, but if you're working on that, then again, like I said, I don't think it's a big problem because it's not costing her matches yet. It's definitely something to consider in the future when she starts, it's not going to, is it going to let her down when she needs it? That's the question. But I don't think she needs to, and obviously she's going to be, look, there's no doubt that after every single match, if she hits like 10 double faults and she wins or 5 double faults, her team are going to address it and her team are going to work on it. Who's to say that somebody in her team isn't a serving expert and can figure it out? Who's to say that? We don't know if it's just like, oh, well, her team obviously, yeah. Exactly. Patience is such a good word. Because, and this is why I'm really enjoying watching Eala playing these little events, and like last week's little event, this is a bigger event. I like this because it's actually showing like how, like this is the tour. This is what it is for most players. It's not, it's not about just playing the slams and winning the slams and playing the 1000s. Like you have to, this is the grind of 99% of players, right? 99.999% of players are doing this, And I think at the moment, Eala is just like, if I'm winning, we're good. And if I'm only losing to players that are ahead of me, we're doing okay. And until she, until it becomes a problem, I don't think she needs to make any drastic changes to her coaching. Because she's winning. As that goes out by Eala, 30 love. But yeah, the serve is a work in progress. It has room for improvement for sure. But you don't think they're working on it with a current team? You think they're just ignoring it? That's crazy. Of course they're going to be working on it. 30 love. As a backhand return goes the forehand of Riera. That's a great winner down the line, 40 love. Who said fix the serve? I said improve the serve. Well, improve and fix, as with a 40 love. By the way, Paul, I wasn't talking to you. Somebody else said, it wasn't you who said it. It was somebody else who said, do you think she should get rid of her coach? Or change her team? You didn't say that, did you? Is it a backhand slice? Into the forehand of Eala. Eala hits it long, and it's 4-3 Riera. She holds. 4-3 Eala. Riera holds. Yeah, Paul, I wasn't talking to you. Somebody else was talking about, do you think she needs to make changes to her team? I was referring to that person. Yeah. The person, Francis, who said, do you think Eala should try changing her team, or is it too early? Right? That's what I was talking to, who I was talking to. And then bringing in the serving comments about, her serve, because that seems to be the big thing that she gets the most critiques about is her serving. Sabalenka did not reach deep in slams until her third or second year on the WTA. Yeah. But again, I think the expectation on Eala shouldn't be, well, if she doesn't get to a slam semi next year, then she's not going to do anything. It's like, well, that's crazy. I think it should be, like, it should just, I mean, look, the Eala fans know this, and the Eala fans are enjoying this, right? Just watching her win. If she wins matches, that's great. It's great for the Philippines. It's great for her career. It doesn't matter if she's making the final of a slam or not. That will come eventually. It might not happen tomorrow, but, she's just, it's just going to be a slow burn. And the best thing about and why I love watching Eala so much is the reaction from people that love watching Eala also. You guys are so invested in her, and it doesn't matter if she wins a 125 or wins against somebody who's 500 in the world. Like, you guys celebrate, like, that's a great achievement, and it is. Like, I love that. I love how, like, positive the community around Eala is who support her. It's so good. Like, it's so nice. It's wholesome, And she is. Every time she wins a match, she's doing something historic for the Philippines. Like, it's exactly what it is. Backhand down the line winner by Eala, and it's 15-love. Like, with every single win, she is creating history for the Philippines and making a name for Philippine tennis, right? And helping tennis in the Philippines. Like, that is what she's doing. And the whole country's backing her. The whole country's behind her. $15-love as Eala serves. As a return goes into the net by Riera. 30-love. She's fine with her team. Let's not mess up her progress. She's still young, and we'll get there in the right time. Yeah, exactly. 30-love. Now she serves a fault second serve. Second serve. As a return goes into the backhand of Eala. Forehand now from Riera. Again, the backhand of Eala. As Riera forehand into the Eala backhand. As Riera forehand again to the Eala backhand. As with a forehand again from Riera down the line. Eala gets with a forehand cross court. Slice from Riera goes in. To the forehand of Eala. Riera backhand slice again. Goes into the sky, but it's too short. Eala comes to the net. Riera with a pass. Eala with the drop volley winner. I'll tell you what. We said earlier in the week, Eala's volleys are the thing that also might need a little bit of improvement. She is volleying so well in this match. Like, her volleys have improved a lot since sort of even that clay court season. I mean, even against Pegula in Miami, her volleys were not this good. Her volleys are definitely on the rise. 40-love. As a bit of fault second serve. Yeah, she's been playing a little bit of doubles, for sure, but she hasn't played that much doubles lately. But that has helped. But you can tell that's the improvement that I've seen. Is that the net play is definitely looking a lot better. As she hits the backhand win across court, it's 5-3 Eala. 5-3. Just hire a serving coach, keep current team. I don't know. Okay, so for those who do think that her serve, she needs a serving coach or she needs to improve the serve, and I'm asking a silly question. But I want to hear what you guys say, because I could make up all the reasons. But why? Why right now does she need to fix the serve? Or why does the serve need to be improved? Or why does she need a serving coach? Why? Why right now? Why? 5-3. Because there is reasons why. I mean, I'm not saying it shouldn't happen, but why? As Eala hits a win at 15. Like, I want to know, I want to hear, like, where you're thinking, why you're concerned about her serve. Like, what's the issue, right? Why are you worried about it? Or why do you think it needs to? Why? And I know it's probably a dumb question, right? Why does she need a better serve? Because it's important, of course. But, like, why right now? Why does it matter right now? Because I want to hear from you guys. For the ones that... Not for the people that think she doesn't need... I'm talking about the people that are questioning it. I want to know, because I want to try and understand where you're coming from. 15-all. There's a backhand return into the backhand of Riera. Good slice. Up goes a lob by Eala. Riera can't get the smash. It's 15-30. Eala about to get this done. 15-30. Hey, Wilfredo, thank you for joining us. There's a bit of serve into the net from Riera. Second serve. Serve into the front of Eala. Return goes to the backhand of Riera. Down the line is good to the backhand of Eala, but Eala hits it long. 30-all. 30-all. Riera serves again. 30-all. Now, if Eala does go on to win this match, she will play on Friday. And the return goes into the front of Riera. Eala backhand. Again to the front of Riera. Down the lines in the net from Riera. 30-40 Eala to get the win and to make it to the quarterfinals. Yeah, we'll cover Eala on Friday. I'm not sure what time she'll play. Probably during the... It's probably going to be early for me. I'm probably going to have to wake up early. I'm sure that whoever plays today on Friday will play first, I'm sure. But Eala with a nice... cruisy win again, but the next round is going to be a lot more difficult, I expect. As the Eala return goes wide, that was a crazy second serve that just hit the line from Riera. It's back to deuce. Yeah, Chen is a very tricky opponent. We saw her at the US Open, so yeah. All right, second serve. The front of Eala, great return. Up goes a lob by Riera, but Eala's there with a smash. Oh! She puts it away just before she hit the net. Advantage Eala. That was close. Almost ran into the net, which would have been unfortunate. Let's see how close she got. Ooh, that was close. Almost lost the point by hitting the net. Anyways, she now has match point. That was close. As we serve now the forehand of Eala. Forehand now from Riera. Into the forehand of Eala. Riera backhand slice. Eala hits a forehand slice, but it's in the net and back to deuce. Almost a Towson moment. Now, the Towson moment was slightly different because it was about the ball coming over the net and if it had actually made it over the net, whereas that one was more about hitting the net, which she would have lost the point had she have touched the net and the umpire would have seen it. So that was very close. You're not allowed to touch the net until the ball, the point is over. Good serve and volley there from Riera. Advantage Riera to take the game and make it Eala serve for the match. Advantage Riera. And then ace out wide. Okay, Eala's going to serve for the match. Riera saves a couple match points. Maybe people want to see her have more wins and make deep runs at slams. She needs to correct her serve at early stage so the problems don't become muscle memory. Yeah, but I mean, look, there's a lot of examples of players that improve their serve. I mean, muscle memory would have happened at I mean, let's say Eala started playing tennis at 5 years old. She's been playing tennis for 15 years. You know, muscle memory in her serve would have been changed over that time, right? I mean, yeah, maybe the bad habits will happen, but again, I think everything's fine. It's not perfect. And I think maybe what the people that are saying like she needs to improve her serve, blah, 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 early, before it gets bad, are thinking, well, what happens when she plays the top 20, right? What happens when she plays somebody like Buksha even? She plays Buksha and she loses. Like, how'd that happen, right? I think that's where maybe those comments are coming from. Maybe you can, if you are making those comments, anybody out there, hello, feel free to correct me if I'm wrong. But those people are probably thinking, well, when she plays this person or if she plays that person, how is that serve going to hold up? But I think right now she's not going to, like this week, she's not playing those people, right? There's, at this point, Haddad Maia is the only, like top player that she has to worry about. If she goes to the final and her serve lets her down against Haddad Maia, then you can, okay, well, how does she avoid that in the future? But again, I think her priority should be just trying to win every match. Doesn't matter if it's against top players or lower ranked players. If she's winning and confidence is getting, boosted and her rankings going up, I don't think she needs to worry as much about, the serve at this stage until she starts playing higher level tournaments and it's costing her in those matches. And yeah, you want to get it before you play those plays. You don't want to get to the Sabalenka match and then, your serve falls apart and you lose love and love. But again, it's not like her serve isn't perfect. It could be a weapon because of being lefty, but she's winning, so it's hard to justify her making any changes because it's like, well, if she's winning, then what's the, I get what happens when she plays the best players. I know that's going to be a question forever, but I think right now, just keep winning. Like, let's not mess with the winning formula until it starts becoming a problem. Like, if she loses 4 matches in a row and it's because of the serve, then, sound the alarm. But right now, it's like, she's winning. Everything's working. Let's not mess with the formula. And the last thing you want to do is when she's winning is then go, oh, by the way, we should change the serve a little bit and make it like this. And then she starts losing. Like, if it ain't broke, don't fix it, right? And right now she's winning, so nothing's broken. She's winning, right? We don't need to fix nothing. Everything's fine. Everything's working. Is it a forehand now from Eala into the forehand of Riera? Great pick up Eala. Slice from Riera. Into the forehand of Eala. It's Riera with the backhand slice again. Eala goes down the line with the forehand into the forehand of Riera. Riera in the net. 40 love. Eala to take her spot in the quarterfinals of a 250, which I think is her third quarterfinal of the season on the WTA, like in the top level of event, which is huge. Remember the stuff when she played Miami, she had won like one match on the WTA. Like on the actual like WTA, she had won one match. And now she's making quarterfinals, like consistently enough on the hard courts anyway. Anyways, return goes in the backhand of Eala, but nope, that's a winner by Riera, 40-15. One saved. One more saved. Is Eala tapping her thigh a mannerism, or is it in pain that she's in pain? No, it's a mannerism. She does that, and then she does a couple of shadow swings. That's just her routine. All right, Eala with a fault second serve. Yeah, when she taps her thigh, that's just part of her like ritual between the points ritual. Like Rafa with the water bottles. Forehand goes into the backhand of Eala. Eala, it's a wide, and it's 40-30. Another match point saved by Riera. Still match point, though, for Eala. To take her spot, the quarterfinals to take on Janice Chen in that quarterfinal on Friday. Match point again. Eala serves. Into the forehand of Riera. Eala with the forehand to the forehand again of Riera. Drop shot's good, but Eala's going to get there with the backhand and put it away. There it is. Eala's into the quarters of Sao Paulo. And now things are going to start getting tough because, again, no disrespect to the players she's played, but they haven't been at that level that, well, clearly they haven't been at the level that could test Eala. Today she played a bit of a clay court player. The first round she played an inexperienced qualifier. Now she's going to play Janice Chen, who this year has been playing phenomenal on the smaller circuit. And then she's got to play some seeded players, which, again, even last week, she didn't play any real big seeded players until, and she did have some tough matches too. So now it's going to get real. Like, it's been a great ride, but now we're going to see where, this is going to test Eala now. We're going to see how good she really is at this stage. Because right now she hasn't played a top 100 player since the US Open. So she's beaten 187, 122, 280, 418, 134, 380, 188. Now she's going to take on Chen, which is also not a top 100 player, but very much in form. And that's going to be a very interesting matchup to see. It's going to be a test. It's going to be a test. And then she's going to play either Jones or Sierra, who are both in the top 100. So she starts playing players on her level, like ranking level. So, and then there's a Dajmaya in the final, or she might play Udvardy again, who, of course, she's played a couple of times this year. Like, yeah, it's getting, like, it's getting real now. Like, things are getting real. So this will be interesting. Now we get to see how, this is a good test for Eala because she won her first title, her first WTA title. She got a couple of really good wins there, but now it's like, now it's the next level. Okay, now let's see how she stacks up and what she really is looking like. Well, she played on Friday, I think. Friday? I don't know if she's played Chen before, but I'll double check. Ian!
THX camp for covering EA games. Filipino fans are hardcore and will love you for it. Watching but here for your commentary and my fellow Filipino in the comment section. Hi Kababayans. Nabuhay.
And thank you for the 10. Appreciate that. No, look, the Filipino community's been amazing. You guys are so supportive of everything, not just Eala. It's great. Pia.
Congrats, Alex. Thanks again, Cams, for covering Alex.
No worries. Like I said, you guys are, like, the Filipino community's been great. And thank you also, Betsy, for the 500 peso super sticker. Appreciate that as well. No, I love watching. I'm loving watching a player that's obviously a lot of people are interested in, but also watching tournaments that we don't have time to watch usually, right? Usually we don't have time to watch smaller events or, lowest ranked players playing each other. Like, we don't get this time. So I'm glad that we can watch Eala and also kind of show a little bit of a different side of the tour, right? It's cool. It's fun. But also, a lot of people are getting into tennis, which is great for the sport. And that's what this is about. We're promoting the sport. Hopefully, I'm teaching some people how it's, and hopefully, some of you are coming here for one player and you stay for the rest. And you're learning something about tennis that the next time when you watch another player, you go, I know how this works now. That random dude told me. And then when you get to watching a Grand Slam final or, another player, you can go, I understand this now. Because you came here for Eala, but then you're like, now I know more about tennis, and now you can enjoy the sport and enjoy more players and you really get into it. That is what has always been a goal of this channel, is to get people going from casual fans to hardcore fans. Chen will be tough. Oh yeah. Chen is a very tricky, and I'm excited to watch Chen because we watched Chen at the US Open, and a lot of you were saying, you got to watch out for this lady, Cam. She's crazy good. She's scary. She's got all these shots, and she didn't put up a great fight against Raducanu. Raducanu was too strong, but like there was times in that match where it was like, oh, okay, I can see what you mean. And she's been in great form. So Chen versus Eala, Indonesia versus Philippines. I mean, that's going to be a fun little rivalry as well. I really hope they put it on during a good time for both countries' time zones. Because if they put it on at like 2 a.m, it's kind of shitty because it's a great like. I don't think they're going to prioritize that match at a night session over the Brazilians, but that match, I hope they put it on at a good time so that everybody in those countries can watch. Because I know how I've been to Indonesia a bunch, like super passionate, like all of you, like Philippines, Indonesia. I mean, when there's a sports star or something like a celebrity coming out of those countries, it's like they're all into it. So it's going to be they're neighboring countries as well. Yeah, Indonesia and Philippines, and we don't have many. We haven't over the history of the sport. We don't have many players from that area. Thailand included. Like Thailand's have been a few players, but not too many. A lot of players coming out of sort of Japan, China, and Korea. But when we start going down to the Southeast Asia, we don't have too many players coming from that area in the history of the sport. So it's like a whole new world for tennis to be in, which I love. So hopefully they put it on at a decent time for everybody to be able to stay up and watch. Should be really fun. Alex is now 55 in the world. That's career high, right? Is that confirmed that she's not going to... Yeah, 55. Career high ranking for Eala, even if she... no. There still could be an opportunity for someone to overtake her. So not career high officially. Unofficially career high. There's players below her that could still overtake her. But yeah, 55 in the world. If she wins on Friday, she'll go to 53. If she wins a tournament, she'll go to top 50. If she wins a tournament. So that's pretty impressive. There you go. Hey, thank you, Chick, for the 5 super sticker. Appreciate that. Is there a WTA Tour in Southeast Asia? No, so the WTA Tour is the world tour. There's not like segmented. There's little parts of the tour that go around there, but I think Singapore is the only place in that. I mean, they got the Asian Swing, which is coming up next month, or at the end of the month, and then they go to Singapore. I don't think they go to Thailand anymore. They used to. They don't go to the Philippines. They used to go to Indonesia, but that doesn't happen anymore on the main tour. Yeah, so unfortunately, no. But look, with players like Eala and Chen doing well, it's going to entice the WTA to think about whether or not they should go there more. And they could. And I think they'd be stupid not to try and get a Philippines 250. I mean, that would be like with Eala as the face of it. I mean, like, come on now, like that would be insane for them to like not think that's a good idea. A 250. I mean, if you go after the Australian Open, if you go Philippines, Singapore, and Indonesia, like you cover those 3 places after the Australian Open, which is logistically a good idea because it's sort of, you go up to Australia and then you can go back to Europe or go over to the Middle East, right? It's on the way. It makes sense logistically. Like, that would be crazy not to do that. It'd be crazy not to do that. Yeah, they do. Do they go to Hong Kong as well? I can't remember. I know the men do. Do the ladies go to Hong Kong? WTA and Philippines would be tremendous. Oh, yeah. The atmosphere would be crazy. Manila 500, lots of huge sponsors here. Well, I don't know over 500. I think a 250 would be a good start. Just something. Because especially with Eala, and then you bring in Fernandez, who's, I think mum is from the Philippines, or has Filipino heritage. You bring both of them in. Yeah, Eala's going to be the favorite, but you got Fernandez there as well. I mean, you could definitely. It would be an easy sellout for if you get those 2 players involved, and you go to Manila or wherever you go. Right, Manila makes sense because it's a big, the city, but. It's 100. You're going to get, so great atmosphere, sold out crowds. It's going to be a whole thing. Like, it just seems like a no-brainer. Hey, Chick, thank you for the $2. I appreciate that. Thank you for the $2 super sticker. Ladies play Hong Kong in last week of October. Oh, okay. So at the very end of the year they do. Okay. Is that a new event or did they... Hey, Raymond, thanks for becoming a member as well. Appreciate it. I'm guessing that's a new event. Philippines doesn't have the proper facilities to host an event. Yeah, but you don't need... Okay, so you don't need... All you need is a facility... I mean... Okay, a 250, right? All you would need is a facility that could probably... You could make maybe 4 courts. I mean, there's a 1,000 in Paris up until last year that was played in a stadium, a 1,000 event, one of the biggest events on the planet, that had 3 tennis courts. 2 in the stadium and 1 under the stadium. And it been managed for years like that. So if it's a 250, all you'd really need is to build 4 outdoor courts. If you have a car park, right? Miami do it every year, right? They build a car park. They build it in the car park. And then make the main stadium a tennis venue. Like if it's a basketball court, you just convert it, right? It can be done. It has been done. So that's all. And I don't know what they do with like change rooms and stuff, and I don't know how much to the extent of what they need to do for that stuff. But there's definitely chance that they could definitely bring a 250 to the Philippines and build the facilities that would accommodate it. I don't think that would be a problem. If it was a 1,000 or a 500, that might be a bit more trickier. But that's not what we're talking about. But yeah, they'll be able to figure it out. A WTA 250 in the Philippines would be... The WTA should be trying to do that as quickly as they can. It'll be built. Eala is the next Pacquiao. There you go. I think if there will be a tournament in Philippines, it will be a WTA 150. Nah, they got to go 250 because Eala's not going to be playing 150s in the future. You gotta market it around Eala. Like, it has to be like the only reason you go to the Philippines is for Eala. That's the reason we're even talking about it, right? And if it's not a 250, she probably won't go. Because she'll be, I mean, if things keep going the way they are, she's going to be top 50. And top 50 players also, I think there's also a rule, if I can remember, that you can't play a certain level of event under a certain level of event if you're a certain ranking. So if she might be like too high ranked to be able to play those small events. So it has to be a 250 minimum. Because then she can play. And she'll be able to, be the face of the event, which is the whole reason you're going there is because of Eala. And because the people are interested in tennis, getting interested in getting into tennis in the Philippines. So it's a great, a new audience, right? That you could, showcase their star to, but then bring other people that, bring other players that, you guys could watch. If you're from the Philippines, you could watch and learn, Yeah, 125. I think that's what they meant to say. Philippines Open is good. If us have hard court, French clay. Oh, you're talking about like a Grand Slam? In 500, Alex doesn't have a chance. Well, we haven't seen her play many 500, so it's impossible to know. No worries, Coco. We'll see you later. We've got shell tennis courts here. Yeah, but they can build hard courts. They build hard courts everywhere. Osaka, Eala, Tomanovic, and Kazakina are playing in the Hong Kong event at the end of the year. Okay, nice. Anyways, let me get out of here. Now, tomorrow, we have nothing to do. So tomorrow will be a day off, which is the first day off I've had since Monday. But Monday wasn't a day off. I had to do a lot of work. But yeah, so we'll be back on Friday, Brazil time. So if you're in the Philippines, I think that'll be either very late on Friday night or very early on Saturday morning or on Saturday morning. Yeah, so we'll be watching Eala versus Chen on Friday. And let's see, because Chen's a good step up. It's a good, it's a good matchup for Eala right now. It's a good match to play right now. Korea next week is a 500. But so far Alex is not on the provisional player list. Yeah, because she didn't make the entry list. 500 events, you have to be like top 50 is automatic entry. You have to, but she's not top 50 yet. So I don't know why she's not. And again, maybe she just didn't feel that she didn't have it on her schedule, so she didn't apply to play. But pardon me, yeah, I don't know why she's not playing next week. But she has played a lot, so maybe she doesn't want to play next week. Maybe she wants to have a week off. Under Alex's profile, there is 0 titles. Yeah, because WTA 125s are not counted as WTA main tour, just like the challenges on the men's side aren't counted as titles. But it is a title. It's just not it's hard. I don't know why this isn't easier to explain. Anything above 250 is considered a WTA like top level event and top level tour. And they only put the top level 250 and above on the websites. And I wish they had like a little button that you could press to see what their challenger and below, so ITF titles are, but they don't do that. They only do the best events and they do it on the men's side too. I don't think they have like a button that you can press to go, oh, this person's won 5 challenges this year. That's not nothing, but they've won 0 titles in their career. So people look at the 0 and go, they're not very good. I wish there was a way they could, at least be able to recognize when someone's playing well outside of the main tour. But yeah, it's not an official title on the WTA website, but it is a challenger level title, which is still it's still the biggest trophy Eala's ever won. And it's still not nothing. It's just not recognized as like the top level of event. 250 is where it starts. This event's where it starts. Eala's playing on Friday. Yeah, you got ITF, you got challenges, and then you got WTA Tour. That's the thing. I keep saying I'm going to make a bloody list. I'm going to draw it, and I'm going to have a graphic for it to make it so much easier. Are we covering Davis Cup? Maybe we'll cover a Davis Cup. I don't know. We might cover it. All right, chat. I'll see you tomorrow. No, I'll see you in a couple of days. By the way, a video for my predictions. Oh my god, my predictions at the US Open were so bad. My predictions will be coming out later tonight or today. So for those who are like, Cam, did you make predictions at the US Open? I did. And I'm going to react to my really good predictions. And then I'm going to show you. I'll put the video up later. But Eala wins 6-1, 6-4. She will take on Chen in the quarterfinals on Friday. By the way, Edsel, thank you for becoming a member. Appreciate that. But yeah, Eala wins. She rolls on. She keeps the streak alive.